Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Cult for episode 207 of On the Backs of Gods. I'm your DM, Jillian, and we have our players here today. Same as always, we have Kyle, Matt, Katie, Josh, and Greg. I'll go ahead and give us a quick recap so we can just get the ball rolling. Uh, Currently, our party was originally fighting against Bosch, a cultist. Now, for the second time, the first time they were all murdered, but a wizard who did not want to deal with the problem reverse time a day and said, fix it, do it better. I don't have time to deal with that. I didn't invest in a fixer upper. You guys figure it out. Um, Offering this only once. Um, but providing some help, she gave you guys a ring that will allow a person who maybe is not the best at arcana or disarming new artifacts that nobody's ever interacted with before. But that they should be able to at least remove this orb, this battery that you guys need to go contend with. Will it turn the orb off? It doesn't seem like it does that, but at least it can move it away from the problem. So that's the dream. Though this wizard, Aliona, informs Roshan that she's like, hey, by the way, now with all this extra information and like getting to like think about it, I'm pretty sure whoever wore the ring last time died. And honestly, more than likely will probably die this time. Uh, and and that person would be Russ, Nix's husband. Um, Roshan tells him, and that information stays between them. Things continue the same, except this time the town is not evacuated for reasons. But everybody moves forward, new allies in tow, goes into the forest, split up the teams, start fighting some cultists, and acts like super duper cleaning up shop, just absolutely wrecking it. Sunny doesn't even get a turn in combat before she is felled. And eventually, the goal being that you would be able to split one of the personas of the shadow that has been attached to Roshan so that it could then attach to Nana. In your last combat, you guys made the choice, Roshan the choice to destroy the flame, and Nana the choice to betray the flame. And this time through, Roshan's like, hey, this time I'm actually going to not kill you. And everyone's like, neat. And by everyone, I just mean Roshan and Nana and the Flame and vaguely kind of Nyx. This information did not like make its way to the party to be a conversation. But uh, so the Flame, after some struggling with the orb, is separated from Roshan. Nana goes and pleads her case for a deal, an oath, and the Flame refuses. Not interested in working with traitorous bloodlines, and takes the orb and consumes it, becoming a new entity entirety. The new Flame or the Tether. This entity seems to be comprised of pieces of realms and stands there as this beautiful kaleidoscope of an entity that at least politely helps you dispatch Bosch. So that's no longer really a problem. That's not the issue anymore. The Flame, the Tether, is interested in destroying Nana and her bloodline. Mostly, she says it's not Nana's fault. She just comes with traitorous blood. And anyone with Ave's blood should be ended. Even though this entity understands that it is not Gulveg, it still feels Gulveg's feelings. So she's like, hey, for her, I'm going to do this. A little for me, but I guess for her.
We support
Um,
women's rights and women's wrongs here.
There we go. So intends to end that bloodline and then is like, and then I'm gonna go like be good or a god or something. Who knows? I just have to make it out of this scenario. And after some back and forth between Roshan, Nana, and the new flame, she's like, you cannot convince me to attach myself to any of you. I have no interest in that. And I have a much greater interest in killing both of you. That's really high on my priority list is both of you being dead. Um, and after you all are put inside of one of these like mirrors and like stuck in this place in kind of a different time dilation sort of scenario, split from your new comrades, you engage the tether in combat. Uh, the entity does not seem to have full control over whatever its abilities are, but it seems to be able to reach into other realms, other places, and pulls energy and interesting items and weather and what have you from that, and uses that for most of its attacks when it is not just lifting up one of its large, beautiful hands and just trying to squash you, which is pretty efficient. Um, Currently, Roshan is attempting to disarm the orb that is slowly calcifying inside of her chest. Um, Roshan, I will say before you are flung back 40 feet away from the entity, just sliding past one of these fissures, you think the heart is not very far away from being fully calcified over, and you will not have access to the orb. So that's something that you like while you are still close up, you're like, I'm running out of time. And then you are thrown 40 feet back. Um, that's where we are in combat, is all of you inside of this mirrored dome where you can see the outside world just a bit moving slowly. You can see now that it doesn't seem to be consistent, this time dilation. You can see your allies on the other side move very slowly and then quickly speed up at some points. It seems that there is some lack of continuity. There is a grip that maybe the tether had on this like pocket that you were in that maybe is not receiving as much focus or cannot receive as much focus. Um, you can hear what sounds like the rumble of thunder, but it's just slow, just a drawn out rumble, echoing across the sky through the forest. If you steal a glance back at your other allies who are engaging with what was once Sunny, you can see that this creature of Iker, her sword morphed into her arm to just be this like terrible long tilted claw, is currently like standing over the hot iron and is like just like slow motion, like trying to bring this thing down. And you can see from behind, dagger in hand, jumping and landing on Sunny's back is Gunhild, rejoining the fight. Um, but there's not much you can do about whatever's going on over there. As time speeds up and you watch as Gunhild is thrown from Sunny's back and like hits the ground hard. Um, Fen, as you currently sort of you are low to the ground. The ground is now a terrible mush. Like it is kind of sinking in on itself. It is like honestly, it's like pudding with like the skin on top is sort of what you guys are dealing with right now. Is what has happened to the soil. And as you are like down and trying to get cover behind some bodies and one of these logs, there's a cool breeze. There's the smell of fresh snow. There's the scent and the feel underneath you of solid, normal dirt, which seems like a distant memory now. You feel something mirroring your body in the position you lay. Something lay beneath you, and you feel a warmth after the chill of this wind. You feel a moment of calm and safety, and you feel you are given a choice. Something in the earth offers you something. This entity, feminine, strong, offers you either assistance, as you had requested, and in a way of protecting you and your allies currently, or they can turn their focus to the fissures. That is your choice to make now.
Heal the earth. Put this back together.
You can almost feel fingers touch the edge of your cheek before the entity is gone, and that comforting space disappears. I need somebody to roll me a d4. Who wants to do it for me?
I guess I will. Yeah, yeah. Where? The D4 say 2?
Okay. I think then. Okay. You can see that the tether, the new flame, seems to be growing panicked. That there is a hint of, besides the already existent anger, fear that is beginning to well up, desperation, perhaps. And she turns her focus to one of the mirrors spinning slowly through the air, grabs it, brings it closer, and then reaches inside and pulls forth, following her hand, fire that follows her fingertips. And she throws down onto the battlefield. I need everybody to make me a dexterity saving throw.
$25.
9.
8.
Hmm.
So I got a nat 1, but if this is fire damage, I'm immune to it currently.
Okay.
18?
Okay. I think two people will not be taking damage then. Excuse me, pardon me, pardon me. If you insist. Roshan, Keld, and Nana, you are going to take 55 points of fire damage.
That drops Nana to 0.
Okay, Nana falls.
Same.
Keld falls. You can see
Roshan had drank a potion.
Good for him!
you can see that the tether's arm looks scorched and is trying to heal itself after this. This seems to give last ditch effort energy. And now it is her turn. How exciting.
Oh, just kidding. I have one hit point.
Hell yeah,
Oh,
Keld.
thank God.
Hold on to that.
I forgot about my ability.
Oh, that's right. You did get a new ability with your level up. Okay. The tether looks across the battlefield and like that desperation and fear is like, okay. And like the lips turn back up and the back straightens a bit. She feels a little better. Um After
With Nana
just
on the ground, I imagine so.
yeah. How do we feel about that in particular? um let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's see if we get our abject chaos ability back. We do not. Well, I think it's only fair. I'm going to beat the shit out of Nana's unconscious body. Um, let's see. Not that it matters, but it is a nat 20. Um, Nana, go ahead and fail 2 death saving throws as her arm reaches down, scrapes across the dirt, and throws you. Your body just goes skidding. I'm going to roll a luck check. If it is 3 or lower, you are landing in a fissure. You have no way to stop yourself from doing this. Okay. Nana skids across the earth. 2 failed death saves.
But didn't roll into a fissure.
She did not. She'll turn her focus. She glances around. Roshan's on the ground. Nana's on the ground. Doesn't really dislike Kel that much, to be fair. They were just talking. Fen is technically hiding. Okay. She'll turn her focus to Nyx. Get a healer out of here. Let's go. Okay, thank you, girly. Thanks, the moon, for making my dice roll numbers. Um,
Greg's like, dang, I knew I should have put it under a basket.
Flicks her fingers and catches sparks in the air and hits them into Nyx, which just kind of like skid across her body, almost like droplets of water over a hot pan. They almost like hit and fizzle and move onwards, doing no damage for that attack. So she is going to heavily focus on you for the rest of the attacks because that won't do. She raises her arm and brings it down to strike you.
She cannot burn the small pot.
I cannot be burnt.
Small pot, well seasoned.
88. That's a 19 on the dice, so I'm just going to assume.
That'll hit.
We can just assume. Take 22 bludgeoning damage. And 4 cold damage. As this arm wraps around you, made of ice and water, and holds you tightly, she is now going to bring her other arm down to crush you between both of her hands. That's over a 20. That'll do. Take 16 points of bludgeoning damage as this hand hits into you. Yeah, give me a strength saving throw. I was deciding if both of those things could happen at the same time, and I've decided that they can. Can both of these happen at the same time? Yes.
It's a 15.
Okay. When you are hit into, you try to hold your ground, but your knees buckle, so you are now grappled and prone.
Cool. So
Yeah, tell me about it.
I don't know if this girlie is immune to fire as well, but if she's not, I assume this means she's in 5 feet of me, and she will be taking
Sure.
a D10 of fire damage
Go for
every
it.
turn.
Works for me.
She literally reached out and grabbed you. She asked
That's
for the burn.
That's true. That's a 10.
Wow. Okay. There's now steam rising off of this arm as she just pushes you down harder against the dirt. That's her turn. Fen, you are up. Nyx, you are on deck.
Can Fen tell from his position if Roshan is conscious?
You probably hear like, like he seems to be starting to move.
Whale
Okay.
noises.
Fen will use his movement to get to Nana.
Okay. I'm
Do I
going
have
to
enough
need a
movement?
check before that.
I have freedom of movement on me. Does that help?
No, it So if you move too much, you have to jump over the fissures, which you must do.
Okay. What sort of
So
check
go
would you like?
ahead.
Would you take acrobatics?
I would love an athletics check.
All right.
It's not a high DC, but
All right.
it is all in the legs.
16.
Okay. Yeah, you are able to jump over the fissures.
Okay. Will my movement get me there in itself?
I'm being pretty polite about movement right now. Yeah. Everything's difficult terrain, but you have freedom of movement, so you're good.
Okay. Um, Fen will use a second level spell slot to heal Nana with Cure Wounds. He slides in next to her and places a hand on her shoulder and don't leave me now, not like this. And uh ethereal vines of ivy reach out and kind of wrap themselves around Nana, and she will get back 14 points of healing. Um, and Fen will uh, yeah, is if he's within 5 feet of where this thing is right now, which I don't think he is, he'll bonus action disengage, but otherwise he'll just stay there.
You're probably within like 10 feet of it if you're on the other side of Nana, so it's up to
Okay, well
you.
no, no, I'll just Fen will just stay there next to Nana.
Okay.
Get his bow ready for next round, but that's all he can do this round.
Okay. As she pushes away this mirror with her free arm, the one that she produced fire from, she scrambles and goes to grab another one randomly. She is going to attempt. She honestly does not care who this hits. Um, honestly, any of y'all would make her happy. Uh, Fen, you've just moved in on helping Nana. I need you to roll me a d10.
I got that D10 out because
Get
I
the
knew I
healing.
was gonna have to roll it, and now I have to. All right, I found it. 6.
Give me a constitution saving throw.
21.
Okay.
Doesn't get much better, so I hope that's enough.
Well, you'll take half damage as a mirror is pulled in and there is a crack of thunder. It looks like a terrible sea storm that you can see vividly through this mirror. Loud crack rattles your brain, your eyes shake. You're going to take. You're going to take 5 thunder damage.
Thunder damage or lightning damage?
Thunder.
Okay, Fen falls unconscious.
Okay. Jillian, may I suggest lightning damage in these trying times? Um, Sven, you fall forward, and then your body kind of like warbles a bit as you're on this water bed of earth. Just super gross, the ground. Terrible and bad. That is the legendary action. Nyx, you are up. Roshan, you're on deck.
Is Fen technically within 60 feet of me?
Sure.
And I will bring him back up with a healing word. Good.
I love when we get in the healing spiral. We know things are going well when we get in the healing
11
spiral.
back.
All right, 11 back to Fen. Fen is just like you hit and like you have to pull your face up because it's kind of like waterboarding yourself being like face down in the earth like this. All right, Fen is back up.
And she's stuck in this thing's hand, so I guess she'll throw a cantrip at it.
Hiya, she says.
Let's go with A chill touch. I think I have disadvantage on this because of all the statuses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's a ranged attack, and we're considering her right within your range for your thing to work.
Yeah.
Only fair.
Yeah, that's still a 26.
26 hits.
Hot dang.
I'll be 12 necrotic damage. Just this tiny stream of spores just go up and start attacking. This giant arm holding her.
Yeah, it's like the sound is of like little like bugs like slightly
Mm.
tapping into a glass window pane is what it sounds
Yeah.
like.
Or a bug zapper, kind of.
Yeah, look, some of them immediately just go and like die on impact.
They're working hard.
They're doing their best. Anything else, Nix?
That'll be it.
Okay. Roshan, you are up. Nana, you're on deck.
How far is Roshan from her?
40 feet. The ground
Okay,
is difficult
so
terrain.
But not
You stand
lava.
up from
Well,
prone.
then.
It's well, part of it
Would
might be worse
you-
than lava. Hmm.
Well then, he will stand up from prone, and then he'll use his action to unleash the angel, and I think in the past this looks a lot like his markings peeling themselves off his body. It's kind of like he's coaxing them off with his own magic, but this time there is a snap. There's no slow peeling. It is one blink, it's there, and the next, it's exploded into a halo of darkness behind him. Um, and he will rise off the ground and go toward her, and then since I mean, he can't attempt the magic at range, can he?
Nope.
Then he will heal himself
Okay.
with a bonus action.
All right. Anything else, Roshan?
Nope. That's all his actions.
Okay. You feel that presence behind you take to the skies with you as another mirror is grabbed from the air. Roshan is now her focus as he is up and moving, so she is going to attempt to focus on him. Well, you take what you get, I suppose. Nix, go ahead and roll me a d10.
It's a 1.
Okay. Hey, the first one of y'all that rolls me a 9 on this d10, you get an inspiration. I'm gonna tell you that much. It's the only number y'all haven't hit yet, and I'd like it to get hit. So you can have an inspiration if you can figure that out. Nix, go ahead and make me a strength saving throw.
It's a 17.
Okay. Uh, this portal opens, like moves beneath your feet, and like it kind of like almost presses itself downwards, and it is like the edge of a cliff stabs into you from the side, like crushing into you as if you had like fallen on it from a great height. Um, go ahead and take 14 points of bludgeoning damage. And you feel as if this had enough force to push you. The flame did not allow that. She is keeping you right here.
Aw. That's nice of her.
Which reminded me, I forgot to hurt you guys on my turn. I'll get you next turn.
But you've
Oops.
been hurting us.
No. This is the standing near her get hurt. But I forgot, and I'll do it next time. I'll do it next time. If I'm not letting you guys go back, I won't let me go back. Probably. All right. Nana, you are up. Keld, you are on deck.
All right. Okay. So Nana's back up from unconscious and will get up from prone. Is Fen's up. Roshan's in flight. Is Nick still grappled?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
chilling in a hand right now.
Let me see.
The real chill touch.
Okay. I'm going to use a charge from Hell's Dowry to cast Bless. I want. Okay, hang on. I want to get within 30 feet and I want to try to get Nyx in that bubble. Is that feasible with the terrain difficult like it is?
Yes. I will probably give you the bonk. I will hit you if you leave my range. He seems content to do that now.
That makes sense. I thought I would be running towards. No, hang on.
So the
I
arm
see.
is
No.
like extended and out towards Nyx. You'd be like running away from like her body, and that would allow an opportunity attack. She just has a very large reach.
Okay, all right. Okay, fine. Okay, I want to stay up this turn. So I'm going to catch Fen, Roshan, and Kelt in the bless.
Okay.
It's going to be a D4. You can add to attack rolls or saving throws.
All right. Bane, which means you must bane a creature within range.
Is the flame within range?
She is.
She can be baned.
Charisma saving throw.
Indeed.
What's your charisma look like, girly? Yeah. 24.
That will save. In which case, I don't think anything happens.
No.
Yeah.
Bane isn't like a damage thing or a half in, half out kind of thing.
That tracks. And I rather figured that was probably going to be the result, which was why I went intentionally for the bless. But
Okay.
bless is what we've got. And I'm going to square up next to Fen and just glance sideways to him. Think I can flank her for you?
Let's kill this thing.
Do our best. Nana's going to move towards the flame. I don't know.
You're
if she
right
can...
next to her, girly.
Am I right next to her? Okie dokie. Sweet. Then I'm here. I don't think I have a bonus action, so I think I'm... I guess I'm Gucci.
Cool. Roll me a d10.
Yeah, okay. Will you believe me when I tell you it's a 9?
I can't. I refuse. I actually refuse to believe.
I genuinely, I'm sorry.
Welp, by golly. So enjoy your fancy inspiration.
Thank you.
Go ahead and give me a dexterity saving throw.
Understood. Okay. Dexterity saving throw. That is 26.
Okay. You're going to take half damage as this mirror is like broken off. It like seemed to be like just stagnant and stuck in place. She like breaks it off and it cracks in the middle. And it's like the visage for a moment of a dark room, and the sun hits it just perfectly. And there is the shine of gold as 10,000 gold pieces fall out on top of you, intending to crush you. Um,
Fan-fucking-tastic. Give it to me.
Making it rain.
We're in the money.
You're able to dodge a bit. Go ahead and take 8 points of bludgeoning damage.
Understood.
And now I need a constitution saving throw to see if you maintain concentration on bless.
Heard. What do we got?
Needs to at least be a 10.
It is, in fact, yes. Concentration, is that plus my constitution modifier or is it a flat?
Yes.
It's plus the con mod. Okay,
Constitution
21.
saving throw.
21.
Okie dokie. All right.
Concentration, constitution. I should remember that those are the same thing, but sometimes my brain be like, just because they sound the
Okay.
same doesn't mean they're the same.
Held, you're up.
Huh.
Hey, man.
So you probably saw Keld like fall to a knee and then push himself back up. Thanks to Undying Sentinel. And I think he's going to swing at her and cast Divine Smite.
Okay. You don't have to call divine smites at the top.
Well, I am.
I plan to hit Jillian.
I intend it.
I intend to divine smite.
I intend it. I'm also going to use my inspiration. All right, cool. That should hit 19 plus 14.
That'll do. So you can add all of your divine smite onto that.
All right. So you just see all of this light coursing up his sword. And that'll be 24 radiant damage.
Okay.
For that hit.
Okay. Second attack.
Ooh, nat 20.
Wow.
So for that, I double the damage dice.
Yes. Whatever you roll on the dice, you double that amount. On every single dice.
Good, because it sucked.
Good, because I would like it to be big.
All right, so 12 plus 6, 18.
Okay.
I think that's all Keld can do.
Okay. Your sword digs in to the side and almost like it rips a seam up the side of her body, and light and color spill out. And it is a scream in thousands of voices, all screaming different things. Um, some sounds of joy and elation, but those are mostly drowned out by sorrow and hurt and anguish as you watch as like she begins to like unravel and crack and like break apart. It's like watching it just begin to splinter the side of her body, and it makes it up to the side of her face, the orb now exposed. Bum bum. And it pulses. And the splintering stops. Her body mostly broken. The connectings of the mirror on her body, it seems almost like static, constant vibration. It seems like it is trying to rip itself asunder. Oh, maybe I am her. Maybe I am her. How lucky for me. She makes contact past you, Roshan. How lucky that I get her burdens. Uh, anything else, Keld? Is that it?
That is it for this turn.
Okay. She is going to use her layer action to try and put one of her arms back together. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Caleb, because you did this, how about you go roll me a d4, please?
That'll be a 1.
Okay. You see that one of her arms, broken and twisted, still shining beautifully, but is put back together and seems to be able to be used. So she has one arm back in play instead of the multiple arms. At that, Nyx, I would say you are no longer grappled during this event. She's going to see if she gets her chaos ability back. She does not. You ever just look at the burdens and decide which burden you are tired of the most in this moment? And honestly, I don't think it's that hard of a choice. Keld, she turns her focus towards you with this arm newly built. You could have fled. I have no issue with you, Paladin. And she brings her arm down towards you. That would be a nat 20. I don't know if I need to roll the damage. That doesn't seem necessary. I kind of want to, but I won't. I
Unless
won't
it's
waste our
possible for her to do 0.5 damage.
time. Ooh. Well, oh darn, she does just a little more than that.
Mm,
She grabs Keld. Keld, it is a shock through your body, and it is flashes across your eyes of worlds. Hundreds of them, thousands of them, or maybe it's just one and you're seeing every corner of it before you feel your body slam into the mirror that is encasing around you and you fall unconscious. That is her one attack she can accomplish right now. That is her turn. Fen, you are up. Nyx, you are on deck.
Um, how? You know
Uh-huh.
what? Yeah, not how far is Keld. Fen back to back with Nana. Uh, under her arm, 2 shots, 2 arrows towards the face of this mirrorless prismatic entity.
Okay.
And he and Nana have hunted so often together, it doesn't even need to be thought about.
It's 21 and a 26.
Both of those will hit.
Cool. For a total of 48 points of damage.
Okay.
And Fen will bonus action disengage from this thing if it's if it's close enough to make an opportunity attack.
With this thing's range, you probably think it would.
Okay, so he'll use his bonus action to disengage, and he will run towards where Kelb fell.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an athletics check.
18.
Okay. And leap. And you kind of just use the sproing of this weird wobbly terrain to your advantage. You're like, why is everybody else struggling to walk on this? It's like a little trampoline. And you just sproing your way in the
Just
direction of Kelb.
Legolasing your way across this terrible field.
Like before he left, he would to Nana just I'll be back as soon as I can. Sorry.
Do what you got to do.
As these arrows make contact, you watch as like two chunks of these mirrors, these planes, are like ripped from its body, and now like half of the mouth is gone, and it's just like twisted up and craggled around the cheek. Um, I'd really like to hit Fen. That's who I'd really like. That's who I'd really like to hit. And it'll be Roshan, which she's not mad about that being the outcome. Roshan, roll me a d10 and tell me how many hit points you got.
Any way I could make it hit Fen or target Fen? Like, is
No, it is a
damn.
just these things just seem to do what they're going to do.
That's a 4, and Roshan's got 44 hit points.
Ooh, look at you.
Look at all my
Uh,
hit points over here. Aren't you
Look
jealous?
at these hit points. An explosion
I
right on top
am.
of Roshan.
Nice.
Roshan, as you're flying, a mirror opens underneath you and fire erupts from beneath your feet. Give me a Constitution saving throw.
That's a nat 20. So
Hell yeah,
31.
bud.
You bitch, you get to take half damage.
And then half of that.
Ooh, so half of half. Go ahead and take 4 points of damage.
You're just keeping my feet warm.
I'm just a little toasty, just like sweating. It's
Yeah.
fine, and I'm good. Okay. Nix, you are up, or Sean, you're on deck.
Cald is within 60 feet, hopefully.
Yeah.
Great. You're going to get a whole 10 hit points back for my last first level spell slot, and then we'll send some more spores at her with another chill touch.
Okay.
That's 27 to hit.
Yep.
Only 8 necrotic damage.
Okay. It's strange. You watch as this hand approaches and like touches into one of the mirrored surfaces, and it is just an infinite visage of this hand and the necrotic damage pulsing through the body, just over and over and over and over again. Anything else, Nix?
I think that's it. I'll keep standing here.
Okay.
How's she looking?
She looks like a big, broken, terrible mirror person. And I'm gonna hit Roshan. It was between Nix and Roshan, so it was a hard choice in this moment. Roshan, go ahead and roll me a d10. I can't hear you.
9.
Woo, let's go. At this
We're gonna
point, my
have two
offer
giant
is off
piles.
the table.
We're gonna be rich
but,
if we live.
If we live, we'll be great. We'll be set.
Go ahead and give me a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. Ooh, a 26.
Ooh, look at you. As 10,000 gold pieces fall from the sky atop you, go ahead and take 10 points of bludgeoning damage.
Ow.
Okay.
It's like we're at the strip club and somebody's making it hail.
They're like, I don't have any bills. I'm so sorry. As
I really
10,000
appreciate
gold
your
pieces
art. I
plummet
promise.
against you.
God, tipping with dollar coins.
I'm really enjoying the show.
I hope this will
Um,
stay in your strap there.
Nyx, you just went. Roshan, you're up. Nana, you're on deck.
Roshan is going to cross the rest of the distance between them and attempt the Arcana roll again.
Okay. The DC is 30.
Does the other shadow help again?
Let's see. The shadow is
Please help
trying.
again.
Please, hey, if you'd help again. The energy seems to be there supporting you. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's both of them are 15, so 15 and an 18, so that's a 33.
Okay.
Can I say what I think happens from
I
Roshan?
Yeah, tell us about what Roshan sees. What Roshan's end of this is.
Um, so I think the emotion on his face is duty and despair. Like he's not happy that he has to do this, but he has to. And as he approaches her, I think the magic that produces this halo on his back, uh, it grows to like 3 times the size of his body, and with a flick of both hands, the design is kind of made up of 8 pitchforks, and each of those breaks free of the center circle and pierces the flame's body at a different angle. And he thinks where 3 spears didn't cut it, hopefully 8 will.
Okay. These spears dig in and sort of shatter and break on impact as they are reflected and refracted through these mirrors over and over and over and over again. And you watch as she just sort of stops. Almost confusion. And she looks down at her chest, down towards the orb that sits where her heart would be. It's not working anymore. Huh. A curse then. A curse. And you see the image begin to shimmer, and it seems to be able to like struggling to hold itself together. And you see the orb just kind of dim, stagnant. And it's like watching somebody who's trying not to fall asleep, but they so desperately need to. As she tries to keep her eyes open and on you, Roshan, past you, Roshan. You're enjoying this. I I know that. And you watch as the dark corners of these mirrors grow deeper and darker. You'd watch me die over and over. And you watch as each mirror slowly darkens one after the other, after the other, after the other. And from the mirrors, two dark arms reach up, wrapping around her, snaking up the sides of her body, and they cover her eyes. And she begins to scream. Anything else, Roshan?
I think the only thing that I imagine Roshan doing at that minute is imagining her slumping forward, and I know she's big, but Roshan would try to reach out to her and catch her as she falls because she is still precious to him.
As you reach out for her, that is when the arms emerge and straighten her body back up. They seem to be fully supporting her weight by the palms of these hands, holding her, covering her eyes as she begins to scream, like a child waking up in the dark. Nana, you're up.
We finished this.
Finish her.
So be it.
Fen yells from like 40 feet away.
Yeah.
He
Finish
said it all
her!
soft and cool,
Eh,
but it's
yeah,
like,
but still,
hey!
yeah.
And her bloodline.
She probably doesn't have that, but that's fine. Nana will
Here's hoping.
do her level best to end this thing. Gonna try. All right, attack one. This is gonna be short sword of wands. Okay. 23 to hit.
That hits.
Okay, I'm gonna apply some spore damage. This is once on each of my turns, so I can't do this on more than one attack, but she will get some spore damage on this one. Here we go. "12 points of slashing damage."
Okay. A mirror shatters on impact.
All right. Second attack. It's 21 to hit.
That hits.
It's just 9 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
Last attack. 26 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. I think I may still have that Bardic Inspiration. Can that be added on to damage, or is that only to
No.
attack rolls to hit? Okay, to hit. All right, that is...
There are some bards that can do that. This one cannot.
Understood. I wondered where that had stuck in me brain. It sometimes do happen. That's why. That is 15 points of slashing damage.
Okay. It looks like these arms are like fully holding this entity aloft. There is still consciousness there. You can only assume as she screams. Just this horrible piercing thing. It is fear. It is just fear as she screams. That's your turn, Nana?
Yeah.
Keld, you're up. Is that a death saving throw or are you up? I don't remember what you're doing over there.
Nick's got me up.
Ah, hell yeah. You use half your movement to stand up.
Yeah. Did she go away from me?
You're like
Oh, yeah, I
all the
got
way across
knocked.
the battlefield. You're
That's right.
not near.
You got yeeted like an empty soda can.
How far away am I?
You're like 60 feet away from her at least.
Jesus Christ.
Your body was limp and unconscious. She just flung you.
So I have to use half of my movement.
Mm-hmm. If you move the rest of your movement, I will be making you roll to jump over the fissures.
Of course.
Of course, please, Jillian, who do you take me for? A man who won't jump over one of these fissures?
So my movement is 30.
Don't worry about it too hard.
Just trying to figure out if I need Misty Step.
You would get 15, which would be like halved down to what's the politest number I can give you? That's a silly number to try to have.
Am I able to dash?
You could use your action to dash. It's going to be spicy. With Misty Step, I would be willing to let you get there, but at that point you're dashing, so you wouldn't get your attack.
Right. Yeah. It's not looking like I'll be able to attack no matter what. So I think I would like to Misty Step to get closer.
Okay. You Misty Step forward 30 feet. Okay. Is that it for Keld?
Yep.
Okay. You can see now that the arms cradling the face, pushing into the eyes. It's almost as if they let themselves give slightly, bending at the elbows. And you see the flame bend into that. And then tries to pull up and away, and the hands follow and press back into her eyes as the screaming continues. She is now just flailing. This is somebody scrambling in the darkness. There is no rhyme or reason to what she is doing. If she hits, she hits. If she doesn't, she doesn't. Does she get her ability back? She does not. What a lucky day. She is going to swing wildly. Some people have a higher chance of being hit based on placement. That works for me. That's a nat 20. Just this arm flailing in the dark. One of the hands trying to reconstitute just tries to like grip at these hands at her face, but is unable to pull them away. One arm swings wide. Roshan hits fully into your side. Oh, I already rolled. I said it was a nat 20. I was there. Act like you've been here before, Jillian. Okay. Go ahead and take 28 bludgeoning damage. And 12 cold damage.
That'll knock him out.
You are hit into, and the world goes dark. I am gonna roll a luck check. If it's a 3 or lower, you go in the fissure. Pretty lucky I wasn't doing 5 or lower. What a lucky day. Roshan hits the ground hard, scattering across 20,000 gold pieces. That is her turn, as you can see that like these dark cracks start forming in all of the mirrors around her body, as if immense pressure is beginning to push in on her. It's her turn. Fen, you are up.
How far is Fen from where Roshan lay?
I'd say you could get to him. He was thrown. You started heading that way, so you're not very far.
Fen would like to. He sees his friend fall to the ground from his angelic form, and Fen collapses in a burst of leaves and reappears at Roshan's side uh, as he misty steps. And as he stands over Roshan, he's going to take 2 shots at this entity and try to finish what we started. I don't know if it can hear me over the scream, but Fen will say, "Sorry, little thing." And there is a dirty 20 to hit and a 26 to hit.
Okay. Go ahead and roll all that damage together for me.
Is anyone still within 5 feet of it?
I think Nana's still there, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken.
Yep, Nana stayed in there.
$34 points of damage. All in.
How do you do this?
Um, I think that the first arrow strikes the arm that's pulling at the shadow arms, and that arm shatters away in like broken glass. And then the second arrow, as it turns to look at Fen, uh, just strikes it right between its eyes, and the whole thing falls as like a broken window.
As these impacts shatter its form, all that's left is these like visages of light and darkness, echoes of worlds that these pieces of glass and realm slowly begin to drip off of. The arm shattered, reconstitutes, and wraps itself back around the falling entity, this once mirror, this once flame, this once shadow, and holds the still body, these dark necrosed arms, holding the flame, the new flame, the tether, close. And it is quiet as the screams stop, and the body is still as it sinks into the earth. Mirrors slowly fading, some of them spinning wildly, now uncontrolled by an entity holding it in place. Some of them spin and crash into each other, sending shards in every direction that eventually just begin to dissipate. One of them, anybody who has a passive perception of 20 or higher, you see that there's like a shimmering light visible for a second, and you see that it is not inside of the mirror anymore. It is in your realm. And that quickly dissipates as the mirror it came through shatters against the ground, exploding. Um,
Real quick,
Everybody can see.
if I have a passive perception of 29, is there anything I can make out about that blip before it vanishes, or about that mirror
That
before
is
it?
what you have.
Okay, got it.
I'm being polite, allowing passive perception in this moment. um, there are beautiful visages of waterfalls, of snowy mountains, of terrible spires, of dark, stormy seas, of endless black, of beautiful, unending light, and an angry squirrel in one mirror that shakes its fist as it sees you, but it spins and is no longer there. These worlds crash and burn into each other. Millions and millions of visages of every realm shatter onto the ground. And then everything is quiet and still as the walls around you dissipate and fall. And the warm air of Soppelheim slowly begins to grow cold. That's where we're going to take our break. Thank you guys for being here. How about you go get a snack and a drink, and we will be back in 10 minutes.
Thank you, 10.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Cult for episode 207 of On the Backs of Gods. We just took our 10-minute break, and our party has just felled the new flame, the Tether. And the world is now incredibly quiet. There is still this gentle echo, I suppose, in your minds of the Tether's screams in those final moments. But it is just the sound of your footsteps on terrible soft ground and the sound of the wind blowing through the trees. Uh, Things around you, the world. Let me lay out the scene. How about that? The first thing of note is the orb. Half calcified. I would say more like 7/8 calcified. Um, Sitting on the ground, dim, unmoving. Um, Also, a bit of ways you can see Sunny's blue blade dug into the earth. The fissures are still present, but now no longer contain anything. They are just like cracks in the earth that don't seem incredibly deep now. Like maybe the deepest one you can see, at least immediately, is maybe your height, and you could like lower yourself into it. Unsure why you'd want to, but you could. Um, you can see your allies um, a good bit away, uh, and the smell of a pyre hits you as uh, Ms. Roan, the mother of the sworn, um, stands next to a pyre looking inwards towards it. You can see Danelle laying prone next to it. Just for a moment, you watch and then you like see her chest inhale, exhale. Sitting against a tree, you see the pretty worse for wear hot iron. Um, he seems to be holding what looks like a probably like a wet compress and is holding it to Gunhild's forehead, who you see is laying there unmoving, sort of like propped up against him, and he just has this compress pressed against her forehead. That's what you can see from a distance. Nix, with your passive perception, you finally take a breath, and then you just hear this gentle dunk, dunk, dunk sound of something gently like knocking, it almost sounds like. And you like kind of turn around and look a bit, and next to one of these logs, sort of like in the shadow of this log, is this snake of ichor that looks like it has almost been fully cauterized by this energy from the new tether, and it looks completely blind and is just slowly donking against this log.
Oh, poor thing.
She gonna go get the snake. It needs help.
Yeah, you pick it up. It just sort of like does that thing where it sort of like like rolls over kind of and just like kind of looks like it's playing dead a little bit. It
Hog
seems
nose.
incredibly unwell.
Can I feed a healing potion to the unconscious Roshan, please?
Sure.
Okay.
Hey,
Yeah,
Roshan,
that'd
for
be.
fun,
I was gonna
roll me
do
a
it if
death
you
saving
weren't gonna
throw.
do it, my dude.
Give me at least one.
That's a pass, a 12.
Very cool.
Hey,
Roshan, not want to die.
hey, Roshan, take 7 points of healing.
Gladly. I think he'll let out a small panicked scream and look around.
Fen will try
And
to, yeah, Fen will try to ease him, probably being a lot touchier than Fen usually is, and just be like, "It's all right. We, we did it. We did it."
You did it. The lot of you. I was there, I helped, but you did it.
Those are some good shots, Finn.
Fine shots and good timing
I
on that
don't.
orb.
I don't think any of it mattered if Roshan didn't get that orb taken care of. Um,
Is there anything else that needs to be done with it? Do we need to coordinate with the others?
friends, all
Speaking
right.
of the orb, real quick, I will say that does remind all of you this is for naught if any of the other two teams fail. If
Yeah.
you rolled and the people who were supposed to disarm that orb rolled and they died, they will fail. It is a possibility you have still lost. So that hangs in the air, apparent now that you can think about it. But whatever you guys are doing now.
So, ways of distance, but better than leaving it. Do we want to split in halves and go help the others? Ensure
I
that
will
they've done.
say also, it sounds like because it wasn't discussed, so I am just going to put forward what the teams would have said to you, is that they would come to you.
Okay.
When they're done, they'll come, everybody will come to the middle.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that is a discussed thing.
Okay.
A disgust. Ew, gross.
Ew.
gross.
Leaves the chat.
Roshan, now that the dust is settling, and he has that thought, Roshan will reach out to someone in Thor's group. Probably Thor, since she wasn't the one dismantling it, and who knows, maybe she's safer. And also, Nyx can contact Russ, so if things have to happen simultaneously, this is the first one. So, yeah, Roshan will reach out to Thor and say, "Do you require any assistance? Is everyone okay?"
Give me a minute.
Is So that's all he gets for now, but does he feel that the spell is cut off?
What spell are we talking about here?
Sending.
Oh, that is the response. That is like, give me a minute, hang up.
Okay. Yeah. Um Roshan will speak up and say, "It doesn't sound like Thor is in any danger." And um Roshan will survey the ground to see if there's anything missed by Ms. Roan and them that we need to clear up that was inside the mirror bubble, and pointedly not look in the direction of Nyx.
Mm.
Yeah. Finn will go to Gunhild. Is she alive?
You go over towards Gunhild, who is just like being supported by the hot iron. He looks up at you. We don't, we're not sure exactly what happened. That monster, it it bit her and she started screaming. And even when we were done, we couldn't get the pain to subside. So she's alive, but if we wake her up, she'll just go back to screaming.
All right, this might take more skill than I have. Is everyone else stable? All right.
Um, he kind of motions over to the others. Ms. Roan is currently the only one like standing, like back fully straight, just like silhouetted by the pyre. Um, Looks like she was in a combat, but not like by like her like demeanor. She's just like standing there staring into the fire. Now that you are closer, you can see the outline of Sunny's other sword in the pyre, um, in the middle.
All right. Finn will make very brief eye contact with Mizrone and like kind of like give a salute and like avert his gaze, like, man, she's so fucking cool. Like, and he's yeah. As long as everybody is conscious and upright, he'll rejoin the group, um, giving thanks along the way to everyone for participating.
Everyone gets a little trophy. It's a really good time. Thank you, everyone. Is there anything else anybody's doing in these first few moments?
Roshan would send another sending if Nyx doesn't want to do one first.
She's putting this snake very carefully into a pocket.
Yeah, this
It looks like
snake
it
just
needs.
like it's like it is just fully malleable. There is like nothing going on. Like it is just blank. Like a blank slate of a creature.
Okay, we're gonna put him in the tiny pot in her bag then. Keep him
Just
safe from jostling too much.
just it looks so hurt. Like its
Yeah.
eyes seem so unfocused and like burnt. And just like there's kind of like a shimmer across its body from like that kind of mirrors the kaleidoscope imagery. But it is definitely like a burn that was like branded into its body.
I'll
Well,
deal with that later. And I think she'll wait half a second because she's got to think of if they are also along the same timeline as us, they might be in the middle of a thing still. So I
Mhm.
think she's just standing there holding the stone, waiting for a while.
Okay.
Roshan doesn't wait. He will look in the opposite direction of Nyx and reach out to Brynja. Because I think with each passing second, uh, fear grips him that Russ has passed. And he reaches out to Brynja and asks, "Are you safe? Do you need anything? Please be alive."
You don't get a response.
Fuck. Roshan will swear and then immediately reach out to. Oh. Who was the next most responsible? Gleb?
Up to
Randall?
you on that one.
He'll reach out to Gleb
Okay.
and say, "Please tell me someone is alive over there."
You don't get a response. Is anybody else doing anything?
Kill just wants to check in with the hot iron while we're
Yeah.
hanging around.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he'll say or congratulate him for holding his own.
I think I was held aloft the entire time. And looks over at Danelle and Mizrone, the mother of the sworn. I'm not sure if there's anything Nyx can do and like motions to Gunhild, or we could bring her home and see if there's something that the ladle knows to do, but we weren't able to do anything on our end.
I mean, we can check with Nyx first.
Danelle like stands up and like groans and like pulls herself up. If you gave me like time and the resources, maybe I could do something about it, but I haven't really seen anything like this before. I could try to do something, but I don't have anything on me or anything I could do today.
Does the screaming thing sound familiar to Keld?
Yeah, it sounds pretty familiar, Keld.
Sounds like what happened to Nana out in them
Yeah.
there woods there.
Hey, isn't it interesting how you pump a poison into somebody and then they turn into a monster and then they bite you with that poison? Isn't it fun?
That's kind of cool.
You don't expect the monster to secrete the poison you killed the person with before it became the monster.
And
That's
then it
how they get you.
happens. And
Hmm.
maybe you used a necklace that makes you fail a roll of equal note at some point, and maybe you have to fail that roll. But what do you get?
Oof.
She was warned very explicitly beforehand.
I forgot how we fixed Nana.
We
Well, you
took her
guys fixed
to
her
the
with
hag.
like a hag who
Oh,
cut
that
the
was
arm
at
off
the
for a
hag.
little
Yeah.
bit.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But that didn't
Shit.
fix it. I don't think that was the thing that fixed it. I think that was just the thing that made it stop doing stuff for a hot minute.
Oh yeah,
I
she
can't
just sort
remember.
of like made it so you
She
Yeah.
couldn't
just
feel
like
it.
separated your
Yeah.
arm from your body. It
Separated
was
it
just
out for a while, and then
Can we tell where Gunhild was bitten?
oh
How is
yeah,
she
it looks like
sedated?
it's like on the shoulder.
Hmm.
Hmm?
Probably can't separate that.
How is she sedated?
Uh, Ms. Rowe knocked her unconscious.
All right, so that won't last very long. We have a acquaintance in the capital who might be able to help, but I doubt she'll stay unconscious for as long as it takes to get there. Um, let's see if we can pool our energies and find some way to address this.
Ms. Roan kind of glances over at Gunhild. She'll be out about 8 hours.
All right.
That gives us some time.
Need to make sure the others have succeeded in their tasks, or none of it will matter.
That's a good point.
have we heard back from everybody yet?
At that point, you hear laughter as Thor and two companions make their way out of the tree line, like laughing and talking as they go. You see that Maggie has the orb aloft with something that looks like a mage hand. It looks to be like off. It does not look to be active. But it seems they are not taking chances by holding it. So they are just holding it aloft with magic and come in. Um, they seem pretty good.
It's all three of them?
Yep.
How cool. I breathe a little easier.
Fantastic. Okay.
Meanwhile, Roshan's swearing and uh, he'll try and contact Randall.
Okay.
And I think he's getting.
Oh no.
Nothing.
Oh, he's getting.
It's a
Oh, he
silent
getting all
message.
right.
Anybody else doing anything?
It
Well,
kind of hinges on what Roshan's got to say.
I mean, there could be other things going on still. Roshan hasn't said jack about diddly of this
he's
situation.
just whispering to
Kild's gonna
himself.
greet the ladies.
Yeah, they come over. Thor
Mm.
comes up to you. Thor looks the worst out of the group. Thor comes
I
over to
believe
you
that.
and like kind of like wipes at her mouth. So we had one of them just up there like looking at it, and then she called dibs on Maggie, and then Maggie had to go help her. So it was just me getting my ass kicked around this battlefield the whole time, just getting my ass handed to me while they're philosophizing the whole fucking time.
What?
And and they and she just describes the mental image of Gressa and Maggie like fingers on chins, like both
Mm.
standing and looking at the orb, while Thor is just being thrown around the battlefield by some Goliath corrupted monster.
That explains your face. Kild's
Wow,
not
okay.
looking very good either.
She kind of like pats your cheek a little hard. You all
Takes
look
one to
like
know.
shit.
Mm. I feel like shit.
Mm.
Yeah. We're still waiting to hear back from our other team, but I'm very glad to see the three of you here and hale and well.
Do any of you
I
have the
can do it.
capability of getting us there? To them, to the other location?
So, Windwalk is still active. We can turn back into wind
Yeah, that's
whenever
how we
we
got
want.
here. That's how we got here
That's
in like
still going.
Yeah. It just takes
yeah, we didn't
another
just
minute
walk
to
the
do
whole
it.
way.
Okay.
All right, let's go. There's no point in us staying here. And
I believe we're supposed to. Everyone's supposed to meet us here.
and
Yeah.
if
They could
if
they're
they need
already
us,
traveling.
if they need us, then we're there for them. If they don't need us, then we miss them, and it's a minor inconvenience.
And we can always, like Nick said, see them in passing. Turn around.
I don't know if we'd really see them if we're
Well.
wind. But let me try sending a message first. So that'd be faster than not.
That's fine. This isn't done until it's done.
Plus, we need to make sure things here get burned fully.
Yeah. I mean, I think Nana's definitely been assisting with burning corpse duty. That's very much.
Oh,
her
there's
usual.
like nothing else to burn.
Oh, nothing left. It's all done. Wow.
It seems that like when the tether appeared, that a lot of the corrupted entities just like turned to smoke. Like she burned them out of existence.
That was appreciated.
That we appreciate.
Goo Snake happened to be able to hide at the top and then got thrown and landed behind a log and was like,
And he's not
well,
okay.
and he's unwell. He looks incredibly unwell.
He'll
Sunny
be
was
okay,
like
guys.
the
Just
only entity
making-
that like survived that like onslaught at the beginning. But Roshan, what were you doing?
He was sending a message to Randall,
Okay.
and his voice shakes, and he says, "Randall, please tell me if there's somebody on the other end. Please tell me you're out there."
There's no response.
Okay.
Um,
This sounds
So,
bad.
Nyx, you're sending a sending to
With
Russ.
my stone.
Okay.
Other people have shown up. It should be a long enough wait now.
Yeah.
She has no reason to think not to.
Yeah.
So she'll say, we're all good here. Do you want us to come help? That's it.
There is not a response, but sending stones are not like the sending spell. It is an object that like Russ would have to like know to pick up and then respond to. So it's possible if he's busy, it's in his bag. If he is
Yeah.
wind, he most certainly cannot get it. Or he can't answer.
um,
I didn't get anything.
Roshan, you weren't able to reach anyone?
no. He'll look to Thor and the ladies and ask, "How long did it take you to get here?"
Shit, a couple minutes.
Perhaps it would be.
Should we?
I think we should
They
go.
didn't-
I
look
think
around.
Finn's
No
right.
one's answered.
I don't mean to.
Should we wait a couple minutes?
No,
and see
no.
if they show up?
Hot Iron, stay here with Gunhild. Everyone else, let's go. It doesn't mean anything that we both succeeded if they fail.
That's true. If any one of these goes, it's all for lost. We've got to go and check.
Danelle like kind of pulls herself up to her feet. Mizran like kind of like raises a hand. I will relinquish Danelle. I will stay here.
All the better, just in case
Right.
something does come up.
There's a field full of gold coins there. please help yourself. You've done more than your part, but all the same, we've got to go.
Yeah.
We'll be back as soon as we can, but we've got to go.
And then you all spend a slow, agonizing minute trying to turn back into mist. It takes a full minute to turn to and fro. So, like,
Gotta do
okay.
what you gotta do.
We don't love that.
Ms. Roan does not make any move towards the ground coins. That does not seem to be something she is interested in, and just sort of makes her way over to where the hot iron and Gunhild are, and just begins talking to him. Um, you all turn to Mist. So you have Danelle and the ladies with you because they're like, why not? You see, they took like, you see, they've like, Gressa and Maggie at one point, like, meandered over to where y'all's orb is just sitting on the ground, and they're just like, what the fuck happened to it? I don't know. I don't know what they fucking did to it. That's crazy. Look at it. Ew. Um, but are corralled to start turning to wind with all of you. You all take to the skies and begin moving forwards. Um, who's taking the lead?
Fen will take the lead. He dropped them off the last time, so knows where they are.
Yeah, I was like, well, you were all together. Everybody
Yeah,
went to each location, but
yeah, but I think that group was Fen's Windwalk group. So maybe I don't know. Fen will take the lead.
Hild will be right behind.
yeah, you honestly, you don't know who you're behind. You're just like,
Mm.
whoever this
Cloud.
fog cloud is, I'll be here with you. You all begin making your way forward. Fen, go ahead and give me a survival check.
Yeah, it's a dirty 20. So for a total, or sorry, a natural 20 for a total of 32.
I was just like, these words aren't adding up in my brain.
Sorry.
It's a dirty 20, but better.
Yeah.
Okay. You begin making a beeline. You were there like, what, 15 minutes ago? You begin making your way that way. Everybody else is welcome to roll perception. Fen has to be hyper focused on just location of where you are going. Being wind, it's hard to do multiple things at once, especially because you guys moving so fast.
22.
9.
Mm,
31.
Worse.
nice. Um, everybody in the 20s. So I think Nyx and Nana. Um, as you're going through, you can see a figure up ahead that you are rapidly approaching. So you guys aren't able to say anything to each other. You're just missed. But the two of you notice somebody up ahead.
Are we able to like steer around the person?
You can do whatever you want to do. You just cannot communicate or do anything besides move.
Are you seeing a figure on the ground or another cloud figure?
No, it looks like a humanoid figure moving, walking on the ground.
Okay.
Nana would like to see who that is.
I'd also go down.
Okay. Uh, Nana and Nyx drop down. The rest of you can see that like two of your two cloud companions drop down from your current positioning.
Fen's going to continue on to where he dropped off Russ. That's where the fight is, if there's still a fight to be had.
Okay, what are Roshan and Kel doing as you see two figures stop and drop down further into the forest?
Keld's
First
gonna
I'll follow.
hover there.
Okay, so Keld and Roshan, you're going with the two that peel off.
No, Roshan will follow Kel or Fen. God.
Okay.
Roshan carrying on to destination. Keld hanging back with Nyx and Nana.
Okay. You two continue forwards. The three of you drop down. Smoke. You see Russ slowly walking forwards, trying to get to the meeting location. In one hand, the orb, still active, burning into his palm. Dark veins of black that move down his arms, and you can see up his neck onto the side of his face. Anguish, pain, as he continues to slowly make his way forwards. You watch as his eyes roll back and he stumbles, and the smoke roars forward, pulling him upwards, his eyes refocusing as he continues walking forward. Nyx, Nana, and Keld will take you a minute to turn back. Roshan and Fen, you continue forwards. You are still trucking. Eventually, after a minute, Nyx, Keld, Nana, you are able to reconstitute.
I think Nana is just kind of moving in to try and figure out what we can do. We can't touch the orb because it's still active. Are
Russ does
we
not stop walking. He does not acknowledge you. He continues
okay?
walking forward. He has one arm now supporting the arm with the orb, just through gritted teeth, walking forward, just trying to keep moving. You can see now up close that on his chest, on his armor, it looks like there's a handprint there, almost like if somebody had placed their hand against hot metal. It looks like charred flesh of someone's handprint.
Okay. Hang in there, Russ. Hang in there. Okay, can what can we do? Can we heal him? Can we stabilize him until Roshan can make his way back? What can we do?
You watch as his eyes roll back a second time and he stumbles into a tree, and the smoke once again roars forward and pulls him back to center as he continues forward.
Yeah. I'm gonna heal him a little. Maybe one of you should go try to fly over and get them so they can find us.
It'll take a minute. Do you two want to stay with Russ and I'll go on?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll be back as quick as I can. Keep him up if he seems
I
like
will
he's
as
doing a
long as I
pretty good
can.
job, so hopefully he
Go,
won't
go.
need it.
Hmm.
Nana's going to start running and is going to be trying to go to wind as soon as can be managed.
Yeah, you take off, you run for a minute, and then are able to take to the skies. Nyx and Keld, what are you doing? Nyx, you're healing?
He gets told 20 points of healing from me.
Nyx, it doesn't seem like healing is affecting him.
Oh no.
Okay. Maybe we just try to help support him while he's walking, so he doesn't bump into
This
anything.
thought is merely fueled by vibes because Kelda's not sure what he can do currently.
Mm-hmm.
However, I have a use of channel divinity, which says that I can channel divine energy to fuel magical effects. And I don't know if the ring or whatever Russ is doing to contain this thing is a magical effect that could be helped.
You're welcome to try.
Keld would love to try to do that. If he is able to catch up to him.
He is walking so slow. It is
Perfect.
merely a shamble.
And I think Keld's going to try to walk as close as he can with him. I'm scared to touch him.
Held, I'm going to be perfectly honest. That is a very good impulse. I am going to like solidify that in your brain. You think it's a
touch him?
bad idea to touch him.
Oh, okay.
You think it's a very bad idea to touch him.
All right. I forgot what channel divinity was. Okay, I see now.
Nix, are you doing anything else or are you just walking with him?
I don't think she can do anything other than walk with him at this point.
It is just like it is through gritted teeth. You can assume the amount of pain he is currently in.
Mm-hmm.
And roll me medicine. I'll give you advantage on it because you get to walk with him for a few minutes.
Oh, nat 20, so that's 30.
What do you see?
What does my medicine knowledge give me?
You are watching him die over and over and over again. And each time he is pulled back to standing. He never fully falls. But you are certain he dies. You watch the light leave his eyes over and over and over and over again.
Jesus Christ. The smoke.
That seems to be the only thing holding him up currently. I'm gonna roll something. Are you doing something, Keld? Are you doing the thing?
I don't know if I can do a thing.
Is it touch?
There's touch. There's I could turn the faithless, but I don't think that would do what I thought. I was just
Okay.
vague reading channel divinity.
Okay. After walking for a couple minutes, there is just like, I wouldn't even call it a moment of clarity, but Nix, he sees you. Like he turns enough where it's almost like you kind of fall into his step and he stops and just unfocused holds this orb aloft. You watch the light leave his eyes and then come back. Roshan and Fen, you land where you assume the combat took place because you started a little ways outside of it, but you can make a guesstimation. It takes you a minute to turn back. There seem to be fissures that have affected all the way to this area. The orb is not present. You don't see any corrupted entities. You don't see anything.
No fallen comrades or anything.
No?
If there was clearly no one around, Roshan wouldn't have turned into people again. He would have just spun around and gone back to investigate where they dropped off the trail.
Okay. Fen, would you do the same, or would you turn back and try to look more into it? Or are you like, well,
There's no evidence of anybody falling here. Like there's not dead.
not that you can see as at this moment. Nothing stands out.
Fenn's gotta look for the people that came to fight for us. Fenn's gotta turn back into a corporeal form, and he has to look to see if there's anybody he can help that put their lives on the line to help save everybody else. That's all he can do.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
11 on the die, and I've got a pretty decent modifier. So 23 perception.
Okay. You find evidence of a combat that is apparent. You are like, a combat definitely took place here. You're not seeing any corrupted entities, but that is the same also at your site. So you assume that something similar probably took place here. Um, you find a shoe and you find the Rod of Wonder.
All right. But I'll take. He'll pick up the rod of wonder, and he'll take 10 minutes of pacing the battlefield, looking for what happened to any given person, before he turns back to Mist. And if he flies over his comrades and Russ on the way back, then that's what he does. If he doesn't see them on the way back, then he'll fly back to where he took off from.
Okay, that'll be a hot minute from now.
Yeah.
Eventually, Roshan, you run into another mist, and you guys cannot talk.
But I feel like Nana recognizes the Roshan wind.
It's just a wind. It's one of two winds. You know
It's
this
one
to
of
be
two
true.
possible winds. It doesn't matter. It's 50-50 chance. Either way, it's a friend. I feel like Nana just like swooshes around and like just zooms
Do a
back the
little
way we
wind
came.
dance.
A little like woo, zoom, like back the way she came from, like very urgent.
And Roshan will keep an eye out for people down below.
Okay. It's easy enough. Nana has a pretty good idea of where you guys are going. You both have pretty good perception. There are 3 people to look for. You see Russ. He's still Nix. He starts like moving again. Like he acknowledges you, and he's like, all right, great, and like kind of keeps walking. Like, so he acknowledges you, and then you watch the light leave his eyes, and then come back again. Um, Roshan and Nana, you're able to return back to your corporeal forms. Russ keeps walking forward. The energy of the orb just seems to like have fully encompassed him. Like he is an extension of the orb currently. That is something apparent to you, Roshan.
He's been holding it this whole time.
Can Roshan like watch and observe while he's becoming corporeal again?
Mhm.
And I think he'd like to try and keep pace alongside Russ while trying the same disarming of this orb that he just did with a different one.
Okay. I'd also say, because technically you brought a shit ton of people with you and they should probably be somewhere. They would probably stop with the OG team that are like, "Oh, we're peeling off. What are we doing?" So they peel off. They've sort of been like staying back and watching as they continue to follow a bit behind. Roshan, when you fully become corporeal, uh, Maggie and Gressa kind of like step forward. Do you need help?
I'll take all the help I can get. The quicker, the better for Russ.
Yeah.
Okay, it'd be nice if he'd stop moving. Maggie's just like staring at him wide-eyed, like wow.
I don't know any way to get him
I
to
could
stop
try to
moving.
hold him with nature's wrath.
I'll step in front of him again to see if he'll stop moving.
You step in front of him, and there is like a brief flash of panic in his eyes as he like forces himself to stop.
Mm.
Just like inches from bumping into you.
Just let him try.
And I think Roshan will whisper just gentle words of encouragement, saying, "That's perfect right there, Russ. You've done it. You don't need to take it any further. We've got it from here. If you can just stay right there." And then he'll start working magic.
Okay. It's going to be 3 checks. The first is 20, the second is 25, the third is 30. You have advantage as 2 people who have just disarmed one of these is also assisting.
Okay. The first one is a 26.
Okay.
The second one is a 28.
Okay.
And the third one is a 28. No. Gosh, I can't do math. 33 for both of the second and third one. They were
Okay.
both an 18 on the die, plus 15.
Okay. I was like, wow, our first like actual failure on one of these orbs. Um, um, yeah, you watch as your magic slowly wraps around the orb, now flanked by 2 other sets of magic um, that seem almost kind of like bracers for yours, like working to not like affect the orb, but to bolster your magic and keep it steady and working around this. And you slowly begin to dismantle the orb. And when it finally goes dim and quiet, this gentle hum that it was creating dies down. Russ's arm drops, and you watch as the orb just like peels off of his hand burnt and scarred. And he looks at you, Nyx, and you watch the light leave his eyes, and he falls back fully onto the ground.
I don't know if any of us is big enough to catch him, but God, none, I'll try. At least try to keep his head from cracking against the ground hard.
Yeah, you're able to help him lower a bit more slowly to the ground.
Yeah.
He lays there fully unmoving.
Okay.
I
Okay.
still go over to him and look to Kel to see if he can do anything. And if he doesn't look like he's moving, we'll immediately cast Gentle Repose on him.
You're just like, and gentle repose real quick. What does your gentle repose look like?
I think it kind of looks like those spores start spreading over off of her arm all across him, almost like a blanket of this glowing moss.
Well, Kel, do you have the resources?
Keld, you're muted.
Yes. Sorry, I thought I was talking.
Phew. Okay. No, there was just
And your
silence, and
head
I was
was
like,
like tilted
"Ah!"
down, so I couldn't see your mouth moving, and I was just like, oh, that sucks, doesn't it?
No, Keld was there as soon as he hit the ground. He'll get out the diamond dust or whatever and um, cast Revivify.
Um, Kel, you kneel down and take out these like probably a small cluster of diamonds and hold them down, and you watch as the smoke spills out of his mouth before you even cast the spell, and his eyes focus again, and it's just like a gasp and then just a sound of anguish. To everybody else, it looks like Keld cast Revivify. Keld, you are very aware you did not get to cast Revivify yet.
And he seems alive, but in
Yeah,
anguish.
it's you see his eyes full of tears and just a wail.
Hmm.
Oh, he's back. He's back. Nyx, come here. And Nana is like, she was trying to help bolster Russ up off the ground, but she's trying to make room for Nyx to.
Kild's just gonna let go and diamonds fall where they fall and let Nyx in.
She's just gonna hug him on the ground. We're not getting up anytime soon, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He holds on to you, and I just think he weeps. Anything else from this team for the time being, or just taking this moment?
Roshan didn't come back with Fen, so I can only imagine Fen is doing a once over of the battlefield, so.
Something must have happened. I don't know if there's anyone there. We'll have to wait and see.
We can only hope.
I think the sound of Russ sobbing hurts Roshan,
I
and
think
so
Nana's just
he will pick up
the only healing
orb.
thing she has left in the tank is one more first level spell slot for cure wounds. She'll give that to whoever looks worst.
Hey, let me double check something. Can you hear?
Yes.
Okay. Can you, Josh? Can you say something real quick?
Can you hear me? Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Can't see or hear
Uh,
Josh.
I
That's
can
so
hear
spooky.
Josh.
Yeah, I can hear Josh.
Oh no.
As can I.
I was
Okay.
like, "There's
Why
no
is
way
Mac talking
Nana's
over
just
him?
like, actually, get fucked,
I'm
Josh." So
very
here's what
sorry.
happened.
I'll mute. You do your thing.
Go ahead and refresh, and you can come back. Try that out. See if that helps. But Roshan, you can go ahead. I was like, it has to be an audio thing.
Yeah.
There's no way.
I think Roshan, it's like a stab of pain every time Russ sobs, and so Roshan is going to pick up the orb and says, "I'm going to bring this to the others and make sure they're all okay, and then we'll just not wait for anyone, just peel off and start trudging back."
Okay. Fen, how about you go and give me investigation?
Say 5 on the die and that'd be a 12 overall.
Okay, you're not able to pick up on much. You're not able to like piece the scene together. Um, there's just really nothing to be found. There's spots where you can find like some blood where combat took place, but not much more than that.
Can I find belongings of any of the people, possessions that they might have held if they left them on the field or anything like that?
Those were
A
the only things
horse
you could
hoof?
find. You do see like you see horf hooftiff. Horf. Holy shit. Okay, guys. Hey, let me focus. Let me bring it back in.
Come on,
Let me
get it together,
get there.
Jillian.
Focus up, Jillian.
This is super easy. Being a DM is simple.
Yeah, get it together. Listen here. Horse hoof prints. You do see them. You can roll me survival if you want to, if the horse is your focus at all, but like it seems like
No,
looking at these surrounding stuff.
Fenn's looking for a body, or like he wants to know who fell here and burn them if necessary, and he's not necessarily looking for where they went. Um, he's looking to take account of casualties, and He'll spend his 10 minutes looking around. If there's nothing else he can gather up aside from the Rod of Wonder, he'll probably shed a tear and resume his incorporeal foggy form and head back to the party.
Yeah, they aren't hard to find. You can like hear Russ's like sobs. By this point, they have at least died down some. But like him and Nyx are just on the ground.
Yeah, Fenn's just gonna take a knee there until he's a person again. And wait until that happens, I suppose.
Anything else from this current team, or are we just sitting through this?
I mean, it occurs to Nana that Russ would probably be the only first-hand account we're probably going to get for what happened at the other point, but Nana's not going to ask him questions right now.
Roshan? Keld, yes.
I think Keld is going to at least ask because it is important to at least get an idea of if someone's still alive or not. So he will ask, "Are they gone?"
He nods. He puts his hand over the like charred flesh on his armor. You see that it does not match his handprint.
Hmm.
Seems like a slightly smaller hand, and just another bout of anguish rips through him.
Keld's gonna hug him too.
The three of you lay on the ground.
Everyone else can go. We're gonna sit here crying for a hot minute.
We're gonna cry for the rest of the session. Thank you.
Yeah. We'll come back when we're ready.
Roshan, you eventually arrive back at the main area. Danelle decided to also just return to that group. She like didn't fly near you, but she's like, I do not know anybody in this scenario well enough to actually be here right now, and flew back to go back to her team.
Valid.
She's like, it's weirder if I'm here, to be fair, for everybody involved. So she heads back. Roshan, you rematerialize back in this area. What are you doing?
I think he'd like to just take stock of, did the ladies leave their orb here too?
Would you have liked them to?
I don't think he really cares. He just wants to take stock of them and make sure there's nothing else he needs to do. So if it's with them, then that doesn't matter. Then they can take care of it later.
I'd say they probably went over to the weird calcified one and were just like, yep, and then like plopped theirs down next to it. And then you watch as they like wait to see if something happens. And then they're like,
Mm.
okay. They're like, okay. And then flew off as mist. So I'll say that the orbs are here.
Roshan would like to just make sure that they are safe for travel. He doesn't know what we're going to do next, but these are still dangerous magical artifacts, and we need to know what to do with them.
Okay. Honestly, you don't even really need to roll for it. They are currently inactive. That does not mean they are not dangerous. If damage happens to these and your slightly cracked calcified one is probably the most fragile, if they were to break, they would probably still explode to some degree. They are inert, but enough force could cause them to go off.
Follow-up question, can they fit in the bag of holding?
Yes, they can fit in the bag of holding.
Okay, well then that is probably the safest space where they will not get jostled around. So he will put them in there. And I think he just starts taking a big lap, a lap of the open space, ostensibly to see if there was anything that the Hot Iron and Ms. Roan and Danelle missed, but I think on that walk he just his eyes start leaking, um, and he'll reach out uh, and see if he can form any mental contact with the shadow.
You don't feel like you're alone.
Um, and I think he's surprised that his mental voice is so wibbly when it talks to the shadow, but he'll reach out telepathically and just say, "I'm so sorry. I I didn't know what it would have done. I I wish things could have gone differently." And then he'll just be quiet.
I think there's a moment just of quiet. You're able to take in the space. Um, it's become cold here now. It doesn't feel like a summer in Sappelheim. The ground is still just like a horrible mess of just, it's almost as if like the atoms, the element itself was scrambled. Like it became confused about what it was and tried to be something else, and it just turned into mush. Um, there are these fissures broken into the ground, no longer seem to be a threat. You can see both of Sunny's swords at this point. You can also see 20,000 gold pieces scattered about the place. Um, and you feel a presence with you, that strength of somebody holding your shoulders and bolstering you.
He will put away the staff of defense back into the bag of holding, and he will grab from it. Well, it's probably been at his waist the whole time, but he will reattune to the sword at his hip and send a little ping out to Egil. Just something quiet to know that he's not alone.
Okay. And Roshan, how about you roll me insight real quick?
That is a 21. No, a 19.
Oh. Mm. Okay. Uh, eventually, I wouldn't say Russ composes himself, um, but it's that moment where you get tired of laying on the ground and weeping. Um, and he seems content to move forward and do something else.
I think Nana stuck back with Nix and Keld and Russ, but did not feel right intruding on the group hug, so she stuck nearby and kept a lookout and made sure that nothing disturbed them.
Yeah.
think
All of
once
you
it,
are welcome to head back. Yes, Nix?
yeah, I think once it looks like he's getting to that point where we might start moving, we start activating the very slow fog. That when he's ready to move, we can.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Eventually, you are able to shift into these forms and make your way back to the center with the rest of the group. Um, turning back to corporeal, um, Russ just sort of like walks off, like just makes a little distance. Um, is there anything you guys are doing?
Ven's gonna check in on Gunhild, um, and he doesn't have any idea if this is going to work, but he will try to use greater restoration out of the prayer beads to alleviate her suffering, uh, so that she's no longer plagued by this immeasurable pain.
Okay. You walk over to Gunhild, you can see that she's like sweating, and even though unconscious, there's just like a grimace across her face. Um, you grip this orb, and there is like a soft sort of like catching of wind as this orb sort of dissolves in your hand and turns to dust. Kind of has a flicker of diamond to it. It sort of spreads itself over Gunhild, and you watch her body relax.
Finn will take a measure of solace in that, but he won't dwell on it, and he's gonna start making his way around for looking for volunteers to continue to search for Russ's lost party.
Kild's going to speak up at that because I guess Finn doesn't know at this point. This is everyone who's returning.
Where did they go? There was nothing left of them. There was nothing there. That they've got to be out there somewhere.
I don't think there's anything left to find is the problem. I think it was the explosion.
Or the fishes.
There's Russ has somebody's handprint. I'm assuming everyone was too close.
Everyone? All of them? If there's even one.
He said they were gone.
Could he have seen it all? All of them?
Hmm?
Could he have seen all of them fall? Or was he guessing?
I presume so, but you didn't find anything?
Finn rifles through his satchel and sets the Rod of Wonder down, puts down a shoe. This is what I found. I didn't find anything else. I couldn't believe that they would all vanish without a trace.
I mean,
The fishes that
they
were
said
opening
it
up
was
at the end. I
There
couldn't
was
see what was
that.
in them.
The sheer power of the orb. They warned it was powerful. So I believe it.
While they're having this conversation, I think the adrenaline begins to wear off, and Roshan starts to shiver. So he will set up just on the edge of this clearing, the mansion, Worry's End, and once it's finished, he'll shout out at everyone. No use in catching a chill. Let's warm ourselves inside. And Roshan will leave the door open after him so his friends can come in and get warm and deal with the shell shock.
I think Nana stays out for a while. She doesn't move far away. She doesn't leave the vicinity of the mansion, but I think she takes a while just. It's not exactly taking a watch, just doing perimeter walks and just sorting through the day's events.
Yeah, I think it. Fen hearing that Russ has given up on his own people, uh, Fen just kind of slumps and they just kind of slumps to the ground and aghast at the thought that none of them made it. That that Russ made it, but none of them did, and Russ has given up, and he just kind of just sad. Fen's sad. That's it. Fen's sad.
Everyone going inside the mansion gets a nice warm blanket.
Uh,
Wow.
basically, all of your NPC friends go in because they're like,
Why
Ms.
wouldn't
Run's like,
they?
Ms. Run's like, that's crazy. And as she like looks on either side of the door, um, and she goes inside and is given a blanket and seems like really tickled about it. Um, the rest of yeah, all the NPCs go inside. Gunhild's still unconscious. The hot iron just like sort of struggles up to his feet and will carry her inside. So
Keld will
all of
help.
them are in. Okay. Yeah. Gunhild probably weighs 80 pounds soaking wet,
Yeah,
so it's not
no,
too much of
he's
an
got it
issue,
then.
but
Okay.
but getting up from sitting was probably just the issue.
Yeah.
So you're able to help him get up to his feet, and he'll take her inside. Is anybody else staying out here or going inside? What is the other couple group of this team
Nana
doing?
will eventually make her way in. It's just she needs some time to process outside for a bit first.
Yeah,
Russ took
Keldon,
some
Nick.
space.
Mm-hmm.
Finn is outside sad still.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
Fen's
what's Nick's
sad.
doing?
Yeah. And Roshan's inside now. With a blanket, assumably? Unclear.
And now that it's been a couple minutes, Nix goes to find where Russ went for his space.
You get 2 minutes.
I was counting. Okay. Nix is going to go to find Russ. Keld, what are you doing?
Keld's going into the kitchen.
Okay. You make
It's
your
time to
way.
how he knows how to cope.
All right. You start cooking. The mist that kind of hangs around the walls on the edges of this place is like handing you things when you ask for it and assisting as best as it can.
Very helpful.
It seems like the thing is, it only has Roshan's knowledge. These entities have Roshan's knowledge. So if you ask it for something Roshan doesn't know, it'll struggle. So there's sometimes you'll say like an herb, and then you have to pick a different one.
Blade of grass.
They're like, hey, I got basil. I don't know what you want. We read it in a book. What do
The
you want
herbs de
from me?
Provence. Basil.
Rosemary. um, but
Parsley, sage.
you
The
start.
fuck is a saffron?
This mist is like, okay, guys, huddle up. I don't know.
I'd also like to take this opportunity to cook a meal of celebration, even though it doesn't feel like it.
Okay.
We did
'Cause
survive.
I feel like this is a celebration.
Okay. Keld, you start cooking. Uh, Nix, you go over to find Russ, and he's just sitting on the ground, staring off at the distance.
She'll sit next to him. And just wait a moment. I'm sorry I didn't know more to help you guys do better.
Uh, They didn't stand a chance, Nix. I don't know if any sort of preparation would have done anything to help.
I want to ask what happened, but I don't want to make you talk about it.
There was some sort of horrible thing. Some big abomination. And then just these broken pieces of people running around. Gleb fell first. Just lost him inside of one of those things. It's like he melted into it. We were vastly outnumbered. So I had to make the choice to step away and focus on the orb. And then the ground opened up. Randall could see it coming. I know he did because he shouted about it. And he dismounted. Sent his horse off. And he fell into whatever that was. Brynja held her own. Those things eventually dissolved, and the last of them she was able to fell. And it's almost like a dream. The moments where I'm holding the orb, it's hard for it to feel real, but I saw her look at me. And I couldn't say anything. And she came over to help me, and he runs his fingers over the charred skin on his armor. And she was just gone. Nix, what happened to me?
I don't know what happened back there, but could she see the smoke in the moment when they was walking?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
All of you could see the smoke.
Yeah. The same the smoke thing that was with you in the forest and everywhere else. I think it kept bringing you back. I saw you die over and over again as you were walking.
I know. I felt it. I saw. She was there waiting for me. Ridiculous. And then I'd be ripped away from her. And then I'd be back. And there was pain, and I'd keep walking because I had to find you. And then I was back with her. And then I was back again. There's something wrong with me.
I don't think it's you. That it looks like it's something else entirely. I'll try to figure out what it is.
Yeah. Roshan told me that might kill me. Should have listened, huh?
It didn't. Guess it did, but it didn't.
Yeah. Well, somebody had to do it. Guess it was a good thing it was me then.
Guess so. I asked you in the other timeline. I'm not sure if it's the same here. If there's anything left, I could try bringing someone back. But I don't know if they also still here don't want to come back.
Um, most of them marked that they didn't want to be brought back. If it was more than the simple stuff, they'd accept that. Sit on the dirt for 30 seconds, jump back up. Brynja's the only one that put undecided.
Immediately, Nyx is looking at this mark on his chest, being like, is there skin cells I can use? Is there something from this handprint that's usable?
If Fen got dandruff off of Gunhild,
It looks like charred flesh.
She's gonna open her bag and get a jar out. This is gonna look. It's gonna seem really weird. I think I could bring her back, but I just need to take some of this, and she'll start taking some of the pieces off of his armor.
He just fully looks away.
Mhm.
He just averts his gaze.
And we'll put that in her bag. And if you want a distraction, I have someone I can show you that I found.
Nyx, none of those words make sense to me. You're going to have to show me the
She'll
person
take-
you found.
She'll take out the snake from the pot and show him.
it's a goose snake.
He's trying to read your face to decide how he should feel about it. How does Nyx feel about it when she pulls it out?
She's kind of excited.
He kind of
Like,
forces up
trying
like
to
a
keep
little
it
bit of a
down a little,
smile.
but
Uh-huh.
it was trying to attack us. And then this new god type thing appeared and did something that all these marks on it that caused this. And now he's normal. And I think I can help him.
He's certainly giving me a very definite sense of normal.
Just
I'm going to
exudes normalcy.
I'm going to call him Goose.
Okay.
Just quietly commiserating with its desire to kill Fen.
One blind eye stares through the forest, betrayed.
It's waiting. But I don't think he'll be able to do anything for a bit. But I found him. He just kept running into a log over and over again. So I think he might be blind.
Huh. Well, if anyone can do anything about that, I think it's you.
I'm gonna try something else good out of all of this.
Yeah.
There's also
I'm
like a pile of a lot of money out here.
So I
What
was
is
looking at that, and there's just, where did so much money just come from? Like, did one of you, like, your bag explode, or because that's so much gold on
more
the ground.
mirror? Two mirrors exploded and it fell out of it, out of
None
the
of that
sky.
is resonating with me as something I can comprehend.
That's the only way to describe it.
All right. Well, I
That,
guess a mystery.
but I don't know if anyone's gathering it. Seems a waste to leave all of it sitting out here. Yeah. I'm good. Actually, I do need some money to. I have to go get some of that at least to afford a lot of ingredients.
Sure, I'll help you get whatever you need.
And then they will go get gold coins to afford spell components.
Yeah. How much gold is Nyx and Russ picking up in this moment?
At least a few thousand. I feel like she doesn't know exactly how much these oils are going to cost because
Mm-hmm.
who knows what Calendula will do.
Fen is outside being sad right now. If he is recruited into help pick up coins, he will. He fully intends to put that money towards like making communities whole again, but like also he'll help pick up the coins.
She'll tap them as they walk by to come along.
Yeah, he won't like make eye contact with Russ. Fen actually holds out hope that like some of Russ's team might be okay because he didn't find any evidence of their demise. But like that's yeah, he wasn't eavesdropping our conversation or anything, so he does not know that they're all dead. He's just kind of like, what can I do to help?
Yeah. You were recruited into team picking up the gold. Honestly, if you guys want to disassociate into picking up gold, you guys can have 20,000 gold.
Super.
We disassociate.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like that's a
Yeah.
good disassociation activity. Just, ooh, piece of gold. Ooh, piece of gold.
Mm,
Ooh, piece of
Yeah.
gold.
piece of
And
candy.
there's now that the pyre has died down, just in this pile of ash, there is still this black sword sitting in the dirt, and then across the way, a blue sword stuck into the earth, both untouched.
Somebody take those.
I do think that, like, at some point during Nana's, like, back and forths across the battlefield, she would have gone ahead and, like, at least grabbed the pretty blue one. She holds the black nasty Icar sword in deep suspicion and will not be touching that herself, but she can at least like inspect and pick up this blue sword, see what it's like, and will probably offer it to Keld, as he seems like the most likely to make good use out of it, but kind of depends on what it is and what it does.
Yeah, I mean, if you look over the swords, there is not much you can glean from it besides what
Mm.
you've seen happen with Sunny. This is a silvery blue sword, really beautiful make. The black Icar sword now seems to be less Icar centric, and it just seems to be like a deep, dark metal.
Ooh, interesting. Charred sword. Hmm.
It seems like maybe this is how it was originally
Oh,
before,
interesting.
like,
Now
Because
the
you can see
nasty
that it looks the
corruption is
same,
gone.
but there's not like a corrupted like core moving through it.
I see. Well, that's nice. Actually, now that the pyre is starting to burn down, and if the sword does not look like it will instantaneously corrupt me when I touch it, then
Oh,
yeah,
you have
probably.
no idea.
I have no idea. Cool.
You can pick it up if
Nana
you want
may
to.
like nudge the nasty sword out of the pyre with the nice, pretty blue silvery sword,
Mhm.
and just kind of like pull it far enough away from the pyre so that she can kind of like give it a once over. And I don't know if this would help. I do have a casting of detect evil and good in Hell's Dowry.
I think that is only affecting of like creature
Creatures.
types.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, it
name is
does.
misleading.
Yeah, you're right, you're right, you're right, you're right. But that's okay. Um I I have a detect magic in the Rod of Alertness.
You can assume right off the
I
bat
can
that
assume right
both
off the
of these
bat
are magic
very
at minimum.
magic. And I don't get any information about what kind. No, I learned the School of Magic.
It, the magic type is sword.
Fair point.
Yeah, I'd have a guess on what type it would be. You're
Sure.
welcome to cast detect magic if you want to.
Yeah. I think Nana will do that before removing the swords from the battlefield and like doing anything else with them. She'll at least see whether or not there's any active magics on them, enchantments and the like, for example.
The silvery blue sword glows. It looks like it has abjuration magic on it,
Abjuration, okay.
and the other sword is necrotic energy.
Necrotic energy, which it was giving like strong corruption when Sunny was wielding it last, and this is necrotic, but like not quite the same. Is that the vibe?
Evocation, you've lost your fucking mind. Evocation. No, no, no.
No, 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 no.
2004, don't fuck with me.
Boo. Get up on my 2014 level.
Yeah, no, I'm not fucking around with Google right now.
Yeah, fair. You can get
No,
back to me on that if you want.
no, I mean it's a necrotic
Uh,
energy.
oh, okay.
That's what it is.
All right.
I was seeing if there was a better word, but I believe that's the word.
All right. Interesting. I think probably Nana would at least gather these up. Probably not touching the black one with her bare hand. Probably using like a cloak or something as a bit of a barrier to get that one. If not from the heat, then from
Yeah, you realize it's hot.
whatever
So
other
grabbing it with the
else.
cloak was really you were like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
hot.
It's very hot. It was just in fire.
But it had time to cool down a little bit, but you're
Yeah.
able to pick it up and carry it away.
Probably take it into either like Roshan or Keld, I guess whoever presents themselves first. I don't know if Roshan's gone and hid himself
If you're looking
in
for
the,
me, I'm in the kitchen.
You're in the kitchen. I'm
And
sure
where's
there's kitchen
Roshan?
smells coming from the kitchen area.
I think Roshan has fully reverted back to bar staff and is making sure that people have food and drinks and want for nothing.
So Roshan's definitely the easiest to immediately find.
Okay. I think if nothing else, Nana will belly up to the bar and set these swords on the counter. I'm imagining just like this slightly misty counter that Roshan has persuaded the mist to summon for him to serve from. And she sets the swords on here and is so these were spoils from Sunny. I don't know if I won't assume you've got spare magic tonight, but perhaps tomorrow we can see what secrets they hold and whether or not they might be of some use to somebody in the party.
Sure. Thank you. Is there anything? You want something to drink?
Yeah. Yeah, anything strong. Anything strong will be fine.
Roshan will put out a cider and a shot.
Mm-hmm. That'll do it. That'll do it. Um, Nana is very uncouth, drops the shot into the glass of cider and just starts downing that all at once. Um, Eventually takes a pause and just looks across at Roshan and is just like, should we have done it differently?
I think we tried doing it differently and
It was
we
too
weren't
late.
given a chance. So, no, I don't want to try again.
No, no, no. We've lost too much as it is, and trying again. So, something she said. All that business about Gulvig being killed for Rave to be able to be born. Do you know anything about that?
I did, and
You what?
it makes me have some very pressing questions for your mom, but nothing that can't wait.
I'm not sure
Perhaps
if I want to wait. If I'm being very honest, I feel like I've been the last to know about anything to do with my brother and why he died and why anything has happened to him or to me since the mountain.
well, um, perhaps now that this is settled, uh, we can go home.
I'd like that. I think she starts to cry, and I don't think she notices at first until her breath catches in a sob, and she just wipes her eye and she's baffled at the tears. She doesn't I, I don't pour me another, all right?
Roshan will put 2 tankards, one with water and one with pre-mixed cider and whiskey,
Yeah.
and then he'll do a lap and make sure everyone's got their cider whiskey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. For what it's worth, Nana, you are able to think of the idea of going home. There is not like a mental block to it. There is nothing in your brain that says, I can't accept the deal. And what does that entail? You don't know. But it's not like you can't, like, if you're like, I'm going to start walking home and you started walking that way, you would not be stopped.
Okay. So like if
So,
that's the feeling I have, I think like the anxiety comes from Nana just not knowing what is the consequence.
yeah. I mean, this might be the first time Nana's actually fully had a chance to think about it. And there is at least not a mental block. Uh, Roshan makes the rounds. The other groups seem to have come together And the ladies and Ms. Roan, the mother of the sworn, are talking about their fights and just seem to be like in high spirits. That seems to be what they have picked to be. And will not join Team Sad Sack in the moment. So they're trying to be the up energy in this place.
On
Um,
account of we're the winning team.
yeah, technically, you guys won. You accomplished your goal. Death was always on the table, and it was. Eventually, Team Gather Coins can come inside as you are now 20,000 gold richer. Um, the hot iron has taken Gunhild. He seemed like he stood there sort of confused for a while, staring at y'all's home inside of this liminal space, and he just stared at it for a while and then just went there with Gunhild. So he just kind of set her up on the couch and is going to wait for her to wake up. Um, everyone, uh huh.
I think Fen, after having cast Great Restoration on Gunhild and seeing that she's still unconscious, like when the hot iron takes her away, he's gonna, with Pearl of Power, cast Cure Wounds on her, so
Oh,
she's
also, this
not
is like you guys at that moment, you would have still been outside.
okay. Never mind. All right, never mind.
So maybe
So
later.
yeah,
But
she can be unconscious. I'm sure she's safe with the hot iron.
I'm sure they are both fine. Nothing bad will happen to him. Um, but eventually, everybody comes inside, and it is the smell of uh, many tasty smelling foods cooking and many good tasting drinks, some not so good tasting. It kind of depends what you're here to do. Um, but as you all gather in this space, victorious, Bosch is dead. You killed him. There is barely soot of him left. And you destroyed the new flame, however you may feel about it. You dismantled these orbs, and you prevented thousands of deaths from happening, which you know would have happened because you felt them happen once before. You saved many, many lives, and you can take solace in that. And that's where we're going to stop for today. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate it. We love telling you guys a story. If you want to see more of that story, you can head over to youtube.com/the Dice Cult. If you want to keep up with us, we are at Backs of on bip, bip, bip. Hey guys, they pay me the big bucks to talk.
Yeah.
Um, we are at Backs of Gods on Instagram, and we are at the Dice Cult on Instagram, Blue Sky, and Facebook. See, I ruined my rhythm by having all these changes on social media. It's a pain in
Mm.
my dick. Pain in
Hey,
my
Ugh.
dick.
Social
Good.
media is
small
dead.
This
price to not
social
support
media needs to get
fascists.
on our level.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. We're doing it for the team.
We are.
So you can head over to Instagram to see some beautiful art. You can follow the link in the chat or the box below to get some beautiful dice.
They do love
That
to tell a story.
they love telling the story, and after putting my Bosch dice in the dirt, it really thought about that story and went for it. So I appreciate that. If you're like, oh, Jillian, but what am I going to do later in the week? Well, by golly, on Thursday we have Gossamer Vale, DM'd by
This
Katie.
Thursday, right?
It is this 30. This 30,
Mm-hmm.
guys. Oh, I'm fading. I'm fading so fast.
Tis
This
30.
Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Gossamer Vale, a Celtic mythology inspired campaign. A new campaign, still in the single digits of episodes, so easy to catch up on YouTube. Um, Bright-eyed, bushy-tailed adventurers starting that adventure. Got a lot of bandits to kill. The good stuff, the early
Undead to
days.
burn, just like this
Mm,
one, but different.
Yeah, different. Same but
Different.
different.
Is
Thank you
flavors,
all
they rhyme.
again. We appreciate it. We love having you here. We love telling you a story. We'll be here same time, same place, Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll see you guys next time. Good night, everybody.
Thanks for joining us, cultists.